Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show, and I'm going to do a special episode today. So I hope you stay and follow along here. To give you an introduction, I am Kristen, and I have been an e-commerce seller now for 22 years. And the last 15-ish years, I guess, I've been in what's known as the wholesale business model. It's just a lot of everything. It's a lot of product, a lot of moving parts, a lot of financial commitments, regular commitments of taking product. So my husband and I want to retire in the next 2 to 3 years and get into a part-time retirement. And I'm looking to make this more simple and get back to my roots, which is shopping, estate sales, and yard sales. So I ask you to join me on this journey. I'm using this channel as a vlog to myself to document the growth and what I'm experiencing along the way. So I'm hoping that if you stay along, you're going to get some inspiration, and I say thank you and welcome for being here. So today's episode is going to be kind of a special episode that is a part 2 in evaluating. I did one talking about how I grade and evaluate estate sales. And that was kind of more in a comparison of when you have multiple opportunities and how I think to make a decision where I want to go. And some of the other things that I thought I should bring up that didn't come out of that was whether it's an estate sale, a yard sale, or just maybe a Facebook post. One of the things I have to give an idea to you to think about, because this is how I look at it, is what is the time invested and what is going to be the financial outlay coming back. So I've had several opportunities. I've mentioned before, I'm in the southern New Jersey region, and I can go basically north, south. I can go in any direction and find some opportunities. And I have one estate sale company that is very great with pricing. They probably beat even thrift stores. And they'll be very representative in their pictures for their sales, like what's there, meaning that, they're showing everything, and they're very receptive to answering questions if you have stuff that you can text them on and stuff. So one thing I have to say to keep in mind, and this is how my mind thinks, is how long is it going to be round trip? How valuable are the goods to which you're going to pick up? And then what is the expectation of what money's coming back? So give you an example today. There was somebody that had posted some old vintage ornaments that I personally wanted for $5 for this grouping. And then they had what I thought was a grouping of these 2 stuffed animals that I have sold in the past that I was expecting to sell probably for about $30 for the 2 of them. And I thought she had priced them at $10 for the grouping. So my thought on this was, it was going to be, I like to go for Starbucks, okay? I know, don't come after me for it. I am a Starbucks queen. I am there every day. And again, I can go in 2 different directions, and the one that I consider to be like my store is about a 20-minute drive from my home. 15 minutes, 20 minutes of a hit in traffic. So this particular location was about another 10 minutes beyond that. So to me, in my calculations, it was going to be 20 minutes of my time, because the other time I was already going to have invested. So I figured for 20 minutes of my time to go, it was going to be one listing for $20, and there wasn't going to be any additional tolls or anything like that. So for me, I figured, it was going to be about a 20 to 25 minute journey for $20. That should mean that after fees and everything else that came out, I was going to probably be left with about $15, which means I would be getting paid a $30 hourly wage to pick these up. That's how my brain thinks, because I'm writing off the fact that I'm picking up personal. And like I said, it's going to be like 20 minutes to maybe a half hour tops of a trip, because I gotta get out of the car, I gotta chit chat. So we'll say half hour. And then realistically, to photograph and get the listing up wasn't going to be maybe 2 minutes. So I'm going to just say it was a half hour. And like I said, the 2 I thought I was paying $10, I was going to sell them for $30. After everything was said and done, even at $15, that meant, like I said, a $30 an hour wage. But when she came back to me and she said, no, they're $10 a piece, I said, oh God, no. No, because now that leaves me where I'm making $10 an hour. That is less than my hourly wage in this state is $15 and change. So that's how my mind thinks. To give you another example in that same mentality, there was an estate sale from that company that I like, that is cheap. He had a sale, and there was a Christmas platter that sells for about $45, and there was another little tchotchke thing, which I think was like maybe a $10, $15 item. So we're just going to round off that these items were $60, just to be at the most. But this sale was going to take me 3 hours of just traveling to get there and back. At $60, if I round it off, it wasn't going to be worth it. Like I said, that would have been a gross $20. How much I would have put out in gas, there was going to be tolls. I just said, you know what? That is less than minimum wage. Because at this point in time, I was going to have to go into the sale. I was going to have to wait in time and chit-chat, and there really wasn't anything else. And I confirmed it with him in an email beforehand and said, you know, do you have any more Christmas? Do you have any toys? And he said no. And I said, well, you know, I think I'm going to pass because there's only 2 items that I wanted. And I really had thought about making an offer and seeing if they would just like I could Venmo the money or something and have them bring the goods to the next week. But I thought to myself, I don't want to jeopardize the relationship I have with these people. Unless it was something really good, I wasn't going to do it over these, you know, potentially really being exorbitant pricing of $60. I wasn't going to do it. So break things down to yourself, really look at it, and be realistic. What are you going to pay in gas? What are you paying in tolls? What is the time invested in it? Because sometimes you may be better off just getting a part-time job, truthfully, if that's the way it's going to be. And, you know, it's different. Like I said, the first example, I was going to combine it into something else I was already doing, something that I could make as an errand running or something. So if you're able to do that, that is a different scenario than my second scenario, where the only way I was going in that direction, or the only need to go in that direction, was for that sale. And it was just way too far. And I didn't want to have to, you know, put myself in that position where I was going to try to find more stuff to make it worth my while either. Because then you're making bad decisions too. Because sometimes you start just buying stuff to make the trip justifiable. And I have way more stuff. I can find other stuff. That's not an issue, and that's not a problem. And there's always more stuff that's going to come down. So I hope that gives you an idea what I'm talking about when I say to evaluate your opportunities. Start thinking about it in numbers, thinking about it realistically in your time, what's invested. And, you know, that wasn't even taken into account what it was going to be for my time to ship. I mean, realistically, the stuffed animals weren't going to be anything big, but what was it going to be for me to ship this platter, you know? Just saying. So realistically think things out and figure out how to make these start working in your favor. And I thank you for watching, and I appreciate your time. Bye for now.